How are we doing, people? It's Alexander, obviously. Guess what I'm drinking? A Diet Coke, because I love America that much. Alright, so this conversation, I guess a continuation of what I talked about, was it yesterday, the day before yesterday? Loving a woman properly. So I talked about that subject, that when we talk about loving one properly in the context of a man, a man has to be the energy that leads. Masculinity always has to be one step ahead energetically of the feminine. As soon as women get bored with a man, as soon as you become predictable as a man, as soon as you give a woman everything she wants and there's nothing more of yourself for her to learn about, explore, there is no novelty, there's no new experience, woman gets bored with you, she falls out of love with you. So you have to be the energy that leads. With that subject, though, there is an aspect, or perhaps a question that can be inserted into it, that a lot of you gentlemen ask about, and that's Stoicism. I get asked about Stoicism all the time. What do I think of Stoicism? And Stoicism is generally interpreted within this context of a strong, silent type that has ultra-rational control over his emotions, and a man that's very non-expressive, we could say. Perhaps a sort of Clint Eastwood type of character, man with no name, doesn't really show anything, doesn't really reveal anything, doesn't really have any sense of vulnerability at all. And a lot of young guys, especially, they're very drawn to Stoicism for those reasons. Because if you're a young guy and you're high anxiety and you feel out of control of your own mind and your thoughts and your feelings, and Stoicism, it's going to have great appeal to you. Stoicism, self-discipline, being very measured that way, there's an appeal to that. There's definite appeal. Now, with that said, though, and I'll add on, I'm not the only one to make this point. Arnie made this point too. With that said, though, if you're trying to be a stoic man and you're trying to be overly stoic with women, you're not going to be attractive. You're not going to be attractive, and she's not going to love you or feel loved by you because you're not making her feel anything. The fallacy of the strong silent type is that the reason that's attractive to women is because they see it as a man that is in control of himself, and a man that is stable, and a man that is, you could say, reliable, a man that's even dangerous. Women see a strong silent type as a man that has his shit together, a man that's leading himself. That's attractive. That is what is attractive. What's not attractive is a man that is strong but completely silent and non-expressive with them. So it's somewhat like the cliche that you guys have probably heard, that a woman loves a man that's an asshole so long as he's an asshole to everybody but her. That's true. You can turn that around within a different context and say, within, let's say, the concept of like a woman, like being like a guy, man's little whore. No man wants to be with a whore, but every man wants a woman that will be a little whore, a little slut for him. So it goes both ways. I'm always pointing that out. There's always polarity to it. So the strong silent type as a man, or being very overly stoic as a man, if you're a young guy and you get locked into that, and then you start viewing your relationships with women that way, you're never going to have good relationships with women, period. You're not. You're not going to have any real strong sense of connectivity because you're not giving anything. And I don't mean in the context of being overly emotional and that you need to be crying around your woman. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean at all. I mean in the sense that you need to express some passion, some fury. You need to express some sense of love, some sense of affection. You need to express something for her to know that you're into her. You have to. There's no other way. You guys that get locked into the Stoicism stuff, you take it very overly literal, and then you start asking these questions of, these very sort of, what I find very absurd questions, where there's a girl that you like, and then you're messaging me and asking me, well, I really like her, but I don't want her to know that I'm into her. I don't want to, say anything too much that lets her know that I actually give a damn about her. I don't want to say anything that makes her think that essentially that I care for her. How do you expect to have a relationship with that? How? I have no idea how that's supposed to work. Being masculinely romantic. Beauty and the Beast? Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is a very good example. Women love a man that's a beast, but guess what? The beast is tender, again, with her. He's tender with her. And you have to show a little tenderness. I guess I could say sort of the shallow, I don't want to call it an archetype, but that shallow stereotype of the man who is apparently strong and silent and the women just chase him unconditionally, that has an appeal in fantasy that doesn't quite work in real life. You have to show interest at some point. And maybe that's just purely sexual. Maybe that's purely sexual, and the only time that you're really into her is in the bedroom, and that's it. But it has to be somewhere. It has to be somewhere. You guys that are constantly worried about losing frame. You know, what if I lose frame? What if I tell her, like, what if I tell a woman that she drives me crazy and I lose frame? You're thinking about it all the wrong way. I had a friend once that he was very much a ladies' man. He was a playboy. Always had girls after him. And he was not stoic at all. He was stoic in the sense that he was very unaffected most of the time, but when he was with those girls, when he was with any of his harem, when he was with his girl, especially in the bedroom or they go out, he was crazy about them. He was crazy into them when he was with them. And then when he wasn't, he was withdrawn. And he played that well because every girl that was with him was really into him. Because why? Because when he was with her, he was absolutely all about her. But then when he wasn't with her, he wasn't. So he had this very good contrast going. It was a very good give and take. Subsequently, every girl would fall for him, and he didn't fall for them. And when he wasn't seeing them each day, when he wasn't texting them, when he wasn't talking to them, he basically just put on autopilot, and that created a definite attraction dynamic, without question. So the Stoicism thing, the Stoicism application that you guys like to practice, you can't take it too far. You can't take it too far. Keep her guessing? Yeah, you have to keep her guessing. You have to. That goes back to a man being his own point of origin, a man that leads himself. One of the aspects of, perhaps you could say, masculine. What are ways to show sexual interest without coming off creepy? If you're super socially awkward, don't talk to women. And I know that sounds like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just work on developing social skills so you're not creepy. The environment and climate that we live in today, if you're a guy and you're trying to be sexual with women, but you're like an awkward, weird guy, you're gonna get called or accused of harassment or a rapist or just a creep, and people are not gonna like you. So, don't even bother. I know that sounds very discouraging, but don't bother. Don't do that. I've seen many guys try to do that, especially beta orbiter white knights, where they have no idea how to be masculine. They have no idea how to establish any kind of dynamic. They're not attracted to women. They're those guys or girls don't want attention from them. Period. If you're that guy, don't try to do that vibe. If you're a creepy guy, do not do anything that you think is Playboy-esque or attraction-esque. Like, don't do that at all. It will backfire badly for you. Better be safe than sorry. Better be safe than sorry. And I'm sorry to say that. If this was a different era, I wouldn't be saying that. But it's just, again, that's just reality. That's just reality. If you're a beta guy and you're blue pill and you're awkward and you're weird and you're insecure and you stumble over your words, or you're just one of those guys where women, you're not lighting the fire in women. Don't try to be sexual with them. Don't. The only men that can be sexual with women, and I guess you could say get away with it, or just to be very stereotypical, it's alphas. It's alphas. It's guys that are charming and guys that have the gravity and guys where women see them and they want that guy to talk to them. If you're not that guy, don't try to be that guy. That's how it goes, gentlemen. Sorry, that's just reality for you. If you're a 3, don't approach an 8. Yeah, that too. If you see a girl that's an 8+, 7+, don't approach women that are above your level. And well, you could say, well, what if you get super confident and you're rich? And I could turn that around and say that no woman's above your level if you can, develop yourself as a man. I could say that, but harsh reality. If you're a guy that's a 5'6" and you're schlubby, you're awkward, you're whatever, there's lots of girls that are above your level, and they're not going to like you if you try and talk to them. I've heard that from women over and over and over and over and over. I mean, infinite times I've had women tell me that. Oh, God, that guy tried to talk to me. What's the difference between guy A and guy B? Well, guy A was alpha as fuck, and she wanted that guy to talk to her. Guy B was beta, and she didn't want his attention. She might like his attention in the sense of like, oh, if that guy thinks I'm hot, but she doesn't want him talking to her. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. If you pull it off, you won't be able to cape. Yeah, that's a really good point. Let's say you're a guy where maybe you got the pickup game down and you change your style. Maybe you got into shape, but at heart you still have that weak personality. you might be able to pick up on the girl that is a level above you or a few levels above you. You might be able to do it, but you're not going to hold on to her, because as soon as she realizes that you're just smoke and mirrors, she's going to move on to someone that's more real. That happens to lots of guys all the time. I've seen it happen very often. Not that I'm in the pickup community, but that's a very common phenomena. Guys are able to attract the girl, maybe for a night, so to speak. Maybe you get the one night stand out of it, but then trying to hold on to her or try to keep her in orbit doesn't work, because they realize that, or she realizes that this guy, like, there's something about him that's real. Maybe he was able to woo and charm me. Shame on me for falling for it, but he's not someone I want to be with. Again, how that goes. That's why I'm always telling you, gentlemen, same thing every day. You have to develop your masculinity first. If you want to attract 10s, you have to be a 10. Did you ever experience one-nightitis? No. I mean, I've been in love, and I've certainly been in love with a person, but I never. Maybe when I was a teenager, I could say. I mean, it's not in my adult life. If she realizes you're a beta and alpha's for aka a PUA, she'll leave you. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. That's a very good way of saying it. Game is overrated. Game isn't overrated. Guys, a lot of what game is, guys, is it's understanding behavioral dynamics, and it's understanding the opposite sex. Honestly, I don't. The conceptualization of it, like every guy has to learn game. I think every guy just needs to understand masculinity and femininity. That's how I would phrase it. Viewing it as game and calling it game, it creates a sort of artificial construct to it. And yes, it's true that scripts work, and it's true that patterns of behavior are reoccurring. But you have to understand why that. You have to understand the why behind that. It's very easy to learn the how. If you don't understand the why, though, you're always going to be getting sabotaged. Now, you have to imagine, too, that for the men that are naturals, for most men throughout history, for guys that were really macho that just attract women, they don't think about stuff. They don't think about game. I've never thought of anything in terms of game. What's my frame right now? Am I in frame? Is she in my frame? Am I in her frame? Was that beta? Did I just make a blue pill mistake? And oh God, like am I a chump? I've never thought about any of that shit ever. Yeah, for the men that understand women, that have a healthy sense of masculinity, you don't think that way. It's the guys that had to learn the stuff that think in those terminologies. Also, famous Stoics were kings or senators, so they could get chicks with any philosophy. Status will always attract women. Status will always attract women. That goes without saying. Status always attracts women, period. If you're in a rich and powerful position of any kind, women are going to be attracted to you. Life is more complicated than colored pills. Life is vastly more complicated than colored pills. But if you're in any position of power, status, authority, wealth, women will be attracted to you, or at least be drawn to you. I think that needs to be differentiated sometimes, honestly. Drawing women to you because they want what you have, maybe they want to be with you because you're powerful, versus attracting women to you because they find you very desirable. I mean, that can be somewhat different things. You could compare it sort of to like let's say like rock stars. Like rock stars versus, let's say, like rock stars and musicians versus, let's say, someone like a politician, to use that example. What would be attractive about a politician? Well, a politician is a guy that's powerful. He has power. Okay, that's attractive. He has power, he has status. But do women go crazy for politicians? No. Do women go crazy for men that are CEOs? No. That certainly attracts women, without question. What kind of men do women go crazy for, where they get their panties wet for? Musicians, artists. Arguably you could say, certainly athletes, but I would say artists and musicians first and foremost. Why? Because those men make women feel something. Those men have a thrill to them. Those men can sort of speak to the feminine experience, and there's a novelty there. And there is a possibility of feeling, and a possibility of having the wildest time of your life, and a possibility that those men are going to dial up the emotions to 1,000. Those men are attractive. And you can see that within anyone that's a musician that's remotely successful. Women will line up for him. They will absolutely line up for him. And there's no other type of man that does that. The artist is the only archetype that women go that crazy for. Sure, I know doctors who struggle to stimulate women's feelings. Yeah, that's what it comes down to on a very basic level. Like, do you stimulate her feelings or not? Are you a man where you, like I always say, like, you do set a woman on fire that way? If she thinks being with you is going to be this rush of experiences, whether that's speaking to her, talking to her, whether you're with her in bed, whether that's intimacy, whether that's just spending time, watching you do whatever you do, she'll desire you. That's fiery attraction. That's sexual attraction. Yeah, that's what you can't, like Rollo says, where you can't negotiate that. There's no way to fake it. Artists are most authentic. There's that aspect too. That's actually a good point that doesn't often get said. But why do women love artists as well? Artists are authentic. They're honest in the way that women like men to be honest. With an artist, you are essentially getting a man that has feelings and experiences and emotions and is able to put them into words and express them, and express them at a very heightened level. Any questions, people? This has been a good discussion so far. You guys have had really good comments or feedback. Answers get so much attraction from women as well, hence explains why Magic Mike is popular. Performers get girls because they're always surrounded by social proof fans. Yeah, that's a good point too. That's also part of it. Yeah, if someone's famous and they're an artist and they can sing a song and there's 50,000 people screaming for them, that's a form of status in a way, without question. I mean, there's a diversity to attraction. Again, and I say this more for the gentlemen than the women, since the women know this. There is no man that's universally attractive to all women. There's not. Some women, I mean, I'm being generic, but some women love artists, some women love athletes, some women love weird, geeky guys, and they're super into one thing. Like, there's a whole spectrum to it. Are T levels strictly correlated with attraction? Correlated? Women can biologically smell, sense men that have higher levels of testosterone. That's been proven out in research. If you have women smell men's sweat, something like 80% of the time, women can actually smell men that are higher T. They can smell it. That's why certain, the women know this. Certain men that smell amazing, where they want to fucking nuzzle up against you, they can smell testosterone. Can you lay out an action plan to become more masculine? An action plan? No, not in a periscope. Read the book Way of the Superior Man by David Data. Do you use anything in your hair? No, I don't. I do not use anything. Women love clowns. Women love men with a sense of humor. That's super. How many times have I heard? Has that been said within media, or just in general? If anyone that's ever talked to women, I love a guy with a sense of humor. That's another fallacy of Stoicism. Women don't like men that are super serious that way. It's attractive. It's attractive that a man can be serious and takes things seriously, but a man that's serious all the time with no sense of humor, that's not attractive at all. Intelligence beats humor. No, you can't say that. You can't say that. You could say that intelligence can be attractive, but you can't equalize those two things. Get a good cologne. That's a good suggestion. You've had some very good. You've had very good comments, my lady. They want someone to laugh with. Yes. Well, they want someone that can look at reality and make light of it and make them feel like the world is good and be funny. That's another cliched saying, but it's true. I just want a guy that can make me laugh. It takes intelligence and sense of humor. It doesn't just take intelligence. It takes a certain sense of it takes a certain sense of childlike wonder. Are you a Stoic? I wouldn't call it. I would not classify myself, qualify myself as a Stoic. What is Stoic? Stoicism. It's a Greek philosophy. Alex, please tell men to stop watching porn, playing video games to avoid reality. You know, I tell them that all the time, but if whether they do it, that's on them. What do you classify as? I classify as nothing. I'm Alexander Juan Antonio Cortes, and there are no men like me. There's only me. I don't put myself in any group ever. I am myself. And I fucking hate labels. What's wrong with identifying with a group? Nothing. If you want to, go ahead. Never tell girls you play video games. Girls never impressed by that. Here's the thing, honey. You say that, you say that, and I agree with you. But then I have met those women that are actually video game players themselves, and they actually do play video games with their boyfriend. And then there's always those outliers. There's always those outliers. How do you deal with an angry woman? Calmly. Some girls play video games. Yeah, some girls do play video games. Some girls do. Girls who like video games straight fucking liars. Yeah, again, like I understand, baby girl, but like I have met girls where they legitimately do play video games, like by themselves they'll play video games. So it does exist. If your love woman get you angry, of course it got angry at a woman. If any man that's been with women has gotten angry at women. An angry woman, you give her a timeout and tell her to check herself. Don't indulge her bullshit. No, you just that's where I'd say you have to hold your ground with women. You know, I mean, when women get angry at men, part of it's like it's a test, so to speak. It's a test. You know, if a girl gets angry at you and you completely roll over, you just showed her that you don't have a dominating personality at all. You just showed her that you're a man where you don't lead. You don't lead. You're not really an alpha, you know, within that sensibility for yourself. You're not a man that she's going to want to, you know, tie herself to. Time out like you would a child? Yeah, like you would a child. In a certain, yeah, you could say that within a certain perspective. What's the point of life? I have no idea. You pick that for yourself. I'm not your guru. Tweeting. Is being alpha natural? Is it learned? It's natural. It's you can learn that personality, but for the men who are that way, they are that way, and they've always been that way. Might make things worse. Tell your significant other sit in the corner for 20 minutes. Dude, it's not literal. It's not literal. If you're taking it literally, you don't understand women at all. Women are implicit. You have to understand them implicitly, not explicitly. How do I get a boyfriend? Find men. Honey, that's a big question. Go, you know, the same thing I tell the gentlemen. Go to where the women are. Go to where the men are. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go about that. How many women you been with? Enough to understand them. Do you have a lady? No. Being alpha, can we fake it until we make it? Yes and no. The problem with faking it till you make it is if you get found out, so to speak. Women can see through bullshit. The thing, when I talk about perception, gentlemen, it's not just you guys. Men always take these things very literally. They take it very literally. Take it hyper-rational. It's not literal. It's not hyper-rational. To understand women, you have to be perceptive to them. You have to see what lies beneath. That is what it means to be. That is what the implicit meaning is. That's the implicit understanding. You're watching women and you're seeing what's not being said. So hold on. You're seeing what's not being said. That requires you to be perceptive. So, hold on. I'm just getting annoyed. So, you're perceptive, you're able to see women, you're watching them, and rather than going off the literal male definition of, well, she said this, what did she mean? You have to understand the meaning. Yeah, women can see men. Women can see through you. Women are the mirror to masculinity. I said this before. So if you're going to fake it to make it as an alpha, women are going to pick up on it that you're faking it. Yeah, maybe not initially, but they'll eventually pick up on it. So you have to be very careful of that. Yeah, that's why, again, why I constantly tell you guys, I mean, I've made this, how many times have I said this? You know, for the gentleman, you have to develop your masculinity first and get to that place of immense confidence. And then when you do that, your dynamics with women will change. If you don't do that, though, and you try to sort of fix your woman issues first, your woman issues are really your man issues. That's what it really is. If you're having issues with the opposite sex, the issue is not with them, it's with you. How do healthy fats make you lose weight? They don't make you lose weight. Eating a healthy diet optimizes your hormones, and then you're in a better place metabolically to be able to drop body fat. If you strive to improve masculinity, regularity, everything a man has trouble with is his fault. Yeah, there you go. It's true. It's true. Or at least that's the best way to view it. You want to possess total control over yourselves. Have you ever met an alpha woman? Yes and no. It depends upon what you define as alpha. The issue with that is when people try to use the term alpha woman, they're basically just taking what they think an alpha man is and then just putting that into a female. So a guy that's aggressive and super assertive and macho and very physical, well, couldn't a woman be that way? Sure, she could, but she's not going to be a feminine woman at all. She's going to be a masculine woman. If you're talking about an alpha female, are you talking about an alpha female in the sense that she's very hyper feminine? Or are you talking about an alpha female where you just copied a male personality and then put it into a girl? You have to define that. Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to these things. There's only two types of women, desirable and undesirable. That's a way of saying it. Not alpha beta woman. Yeah, I'd agree. That's why I don't like the alpha beta. The alpha classification doesn't work for women. You can apply it to men, but it doesn't work for females. Yeah, women, you could almost, to be misogynistic, you could say there's desirable and beautiful women, and there's not desirable and not beautiful woman. Define hyperfeminine. What is femininity? If you're going to define hyperfeminine, what's femininity? Grace, persuasion, beauty, elegance. What makes a woman powerful? That she can cuss and swear like a man? No, that is not what makes a woman powerful at all. Women are powerful because they're graceful, because they're beautiful, because they can make people move by the way of persuasion. A woman can use her charm. Yeah, exactly. Women are charming. Or at least they should be. Beta and alpha labels, you stop caring about labels. These things you have to consider, guys. Labels can be useful to help you think about a concept, but when you start believing the label is all that there is to something, then you start getting limited by way of thinking. Move, by the way. I'm not a manipulator, I'm a wallflower. Well, then you're a wallflower. But when you're talking about a hyper-feminine woman, at least in the sense of like what makes a woman powerful, it is persuasion, it is charm. An alpha woman is one who embraces domesticity and submission. Yeah, you could say it that way. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, if I was to define the qualities of femininity, Beauty, charm, grace, elegance, glamour. Does masculinity always come naturally? Well, for most men, it doesn't come naturally. For a lot of men, it doesn't come naturally. So they have to learn it. Would you say getting jacked is one of the biggest confidence boosters? I mean, being muscular is confidence, because when you have a powerful body, and when your physicality is your mentality and your powerful body is representative of your powerful mindset, guess what? That has an effect on people. That has an effect on everything. Masculinity is taught by a father to a child. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Most men have weak fathers. You're a great mentor. You're welcome. Mike Matthews worth checking out. Is Mike Matthews worth checking out? Yeah, he has good stuff. Aggressive may be natural, but your dad teaches you how to channel real masculinity. Most men, like I tell you gentlemen this all the time, you need to find a masculine role model, or you need to find something to model yourself on that is a heroic sort of archetype, where you can learn how to adopt the qualities. That doesn't necessarily mean like an actual role model, like I want to be like you. No, just you can find mentors, role models. You can find models of being in lots of places, lots and lots of places. I mean, that's what superheroes are. Yeah, very generically, but it's true. That's what superheroes are. Final questions, people. Aggressiveness is what we must call toxic masculinity. It is. That is true. What do you think is driving this war on masculinity? Well, we live in a female primary society where essentially everyone's been socially conditioned for 40 years to basically give women everything they want, and the female opinion on anything is considered the ultimate opinion. Men don't like to disagree with women because they want to keep women happy. The problem with that is that when you never tell women no to anything, shit goes sideways. There's no balance. Females deserve everything they want. No, they don't. No, they don't. Nobody deserves everything they want. You wanting something doesn't mean that you deserve it at all. At all. Wanting something and deserving something are two completely different fucking things. That's magical fucking thinking. I want it, therefore I deserve it. No, you don't. You haven't earned it. Who are you to say that what you want is something that you are worth the value of? You're not. You can want a lot of things. Doesn't mean that it's for you. That's sort of the that's the accusation that women throw at men. Yeah, when they're criticizing men. Men think they deserve sex, and men think they deserve this. Women do the exact same thing. Women do the exact same thing. Yeah, women will lay out for you a list of fucking qualities that I want a 6'2", 200-pound, rock-solid cock, six-figure earning, drives a sports car, drives a fucking Maserati, and it's going to do this for me, and this for me, and this for thing, and this for me. Yet women will list out for you a man that is 50,000 fucking things. They have a laundry list of what they want in a man. Okay, honey, you want all those things. What have you done to earn any of those things in a man? What is your value? What is your value? You want a level 2,500 guy? Are you a level 2,500 girl? Are you a dime? No, you're not. You're a 5 and you want a 10? How the fuck does that work? It doesn't. It doesn't. You don't deserve shit. You can want everything that you want. It doesn't mean fucking things whether or not you deserve it. You want to have something? You earn that thing by being worthy of it. That's how that works. You sound jaded. No, I'm not jaded. I've worked with enough people over the years that I know how these things go. I've heard this from men. I've heard this from women. I want this kind of girl, bro. Guess what? It's the same thing for the gentleman. If you're a schlub, you're not going to get the girl. You're not going to get the dream girl. You're not. That's a nice fantasy that fucking movies teach everybody. You can be the geeky, schlubby guy, and somehow you get the girl somehow, and she sees, she decides that she doesn't really want to be the macho guy. She wants to be with you because of feelings and shit. Not how it works in real life. You've all been sold and brainwashed on narrative. Know your level, people. Know your level. You don't like your level? Upgrade yourself. But don't ever think you deserve something just because. No such thing. Start choosing better females. The women I've been with have been fucking astoundingly beautiful, believe me. You'll never hear me speak badly of the women I've had the pleasure of knowing. I can remember all of them, and every single one of them has been worth it. What is your level? Fucking infinity. That is my level, and I get everything that I want. Alright guys, good talk. I'm going to end it there. Love you all. Talk to you all again.